Everybody, welcome to episode 2 of No Way, Jose, starring the Boston Mass, Jose Raymond, all the way from this great state I'm in, the Bay State, Massachusetts. Welcome, Jose. How are you?
I'm great. Nice to see you. Nice shirt.
It's a medium. Thank you.
Yeah, like most of mine.
Well, I think you probably take a 4Xs, 5Xs. How many Xs?
A lot. 2X. 2X is good because I'm so short. They look like a dress on me.
Pants, we'll talk about it another time, but I can't even imagine the issues you've had with pants over the years.
No, but luckily most companies make like spandex jeans now.
Yeah.
Those stretchy jeans. Yeah. So most of my jeans are very comfortable.
You know where I first found out about stretchy jeans? It was about 40 years ago. Chuck Norris had an ad in Black Belt magazine. I was like, who's going to buy those? Nobody. But here we are today. And it becomes So we did get some good viewer questions. And guys, we do want you to put your questions in the comments below. But before that, I want to talk a little bit about the upcoming season, what the situation is now, because right now we would be in Columbus, Ohio, normally right about now for the Arnold Classic. Obviously with COVID, things got rescheduled. We don't even have a date for the Arnold. People keep saying September. That's what they hope for, but I'm really wondering if it's going to happen this year or not. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence about that. What does your gut tell you?
My gut tells me it's not going to happen. I've heard some weird rumblings that Arnold doesn't even want to do it anymore.
Wow.
In the States. I don't know where I heard that. I mean, they canceled the Australian one.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I have no idea. I have a feeling that it after the last debacle, he's having a tough time with it.
Yeah,
it's more work than it's worth to him, I guess. But maybe not. Maybe that's just rumors that I'm hearing. I hope it does, because it's certainly an opportunity for all the athletes to showcase what they got and make some money and meet the fans. Those expos were the greatest ever. I went to about eight Arnolds before I ever went to an Olympia.
Really? Yeah.
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 And to this day, I've only been to the Olympia 10 times, and they were the ones that I competed in. I haven't gone back since.
Yeah. I was going to say, all the Olympias I've been to where I saw you were competing. I don't remember ever see you just like hanging around or working a booth or anything like that.
Never. I never went before, and I haven't gone since.
Wow.
I would, but it's just that's how it worked out. Where I knew the Arnold was just a ridiculous weekend. Yeah. I used to have so much fun there, and that was long before I worked a booth or competed in. I did 5 Arnold Classics, and they were fun as could be, but I had a lot more fun when I wasn't competing.
Of course. So if it ends up being September, that would just be a month before the Olympia, which to me, I think for the athletes, and you can comment on this, I think for the athletes that probably works out better because you don't have to prep twice in a year with 6 months in between. But on the other hand, we've always had the Arnold since it started in 1989. That was like the season opener. Well, the Ironman Pro was usually a week before that, but it was the first big event, big expo, and it sort of set the tone for the rest of the year. You'd get guys winning that, and they'd be a favorite going to the Olympia. And if you do it that further or that close to the Olympia, it sort of takes away. Now we don't have anything for, like this year, we don't have our first show until May. So would you rather, if the Arnold continues, would you rather see it back to where it's always been, or would you be cool with having it in September?
Well, there's 2 ways to look at it. When it's so far away, you often won't get Mr. Olympia to do it. And when it's that close, you lose an opportunity for some of the top guys who aren't going to win the Olympia to win a big show.
Yeah.
Because put it this way, if I were Rami and it was only a month apart, I would do both shows for sure. If I were, the two, like Flex Lewis, if he was still the 212 champ, I would have done it. I'd clean up, he'd make double the money. Right. So, it sucks for the second tier guy. I mean, they're really first tier guys, but you know, the whole time Ronnie was winning or Phil was winning, it gave the second place guy the opportunity to get a big win, make some money. So I'd like to see it a little more spaced out, but you know, if it's better for the Arnold Classic because they'll get all the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
You know, the more the merrier, the way they're looking at it.
Yeah. I wonder about the one thing that puzzles me with the Expo though, if they do have the Arnold in September and then the Olympia is only a month later, it's like, say it's a 3 or 4 week difference. If you're a company and you have a certain budget to spend on expos and booths and all that, wouldn't you rather spend it early in the year and then have 6 months to sort of get your finances back together, do it again for the Olympia rather than back to back? I wonder if that would make some companies choose, am I going to have a booth at the Olympia or the Arnold? I have to pick now.
Well, the bigger companies will budget for it anyway. But yeah, they're going to have to choose which one to go to. And to be honest with you, if I were a business owner, I would go to the Arnold. Yeah. You know, the expo hall is much bigger. The amount of people that show up is much bigger. Yeah. But I would assume the really big companies are going to do both anyway. I'm sorry about this dog, man.
You gonna show us the dog?
Come here. It's my buddy Carmine's dog. I'm dog sitting and he won't shut up if he's not getting attention or cookies or something.
Carmine the dentist?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I think my brother Dana knows Carmine.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you'd replaced, you know, R.I.P. Chewy. That dog can't be replaced, but you know, a lot of people will try to adopt a dog or something.
Yeah. You know what's funny is when Carmine got this dog, it was the same weekend I got mine.
Oh, really?
We didn't know, and he was like, "Hey, I just got a dog." I'm like, "So did I." So this guy, he's on his 13th year.
Whew.
In November. My Chewy would have been 13.
Wow.
Yeah.
How big is this one?
How big is this guy?
Yeah.
It's a Portuguese water dog. He's about 50 pounds.
Okay. I'm not familiar with that breed, but my Chewy, the Shih Tzu. Yeah. Now with one eye because the other dog knocked it out. 19 years old in October. Whew. Good Lord.
He looks. I think George from the UK has a Portuguese water dog.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Come here. Come say hi, you little pain in the ass. Or just shut up. Hold on, I'm gonna get some cookies. All right, so let's hit some of these questions so we can hopefully get them off. I'm sorry for all the noise.
Oh, no worries. I do want to. I just want to cover 2 more things about the coming season. So we're gonna have 3 shows in a row in May, 3 weekends in a row. We're gonna have Indy Pro, New York Pro, California Pro, and I imagine most of the same guys are going to do all 3. New York Pro will probably have the biggest and best lineup. It's just because it's a New York Pro, but I think we're going to have a lot of the same people. I don't know what you're hearing, but obviously we know about Nick Walker, Blessing Awobidu, Justin Rodriguez, definitely heavy favorite for any of these shows if he wants to go in. And the one I'm really excited about, even though he has not announced it, but he's in Vegas, staying there with Flex Lewis right now. So I'm guessing it's going to be New York Pro, if not all 3. Hassan Mustafa. Yeah. I mean, that's a guy, Chris works with him. And man, talk about potential. That's a guy I can see. I know structurally he's not the prettiest guy in some stances, but so much muscle, so round and full. I see that guy, if he nails his conditioning, he could clean up 1 or more of these shows pretty easily, depending on who else shows up. Who else are you hearing about doing these May shows?
Well, let me talk on Hassan a little bit.
Yeah,
that guy has more muscle per square inch of anyone on planet Earth. Like if you see pictures of him with Flex Lewis, they're the same height. He's only about 5'6" or something.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. Huh. And he is 285 right now. It's crazy, the muscle on him. Wow. And I don't think it's a structural issue. I think it's a posing issue. You know, he has a lot of problems with the posing. Because when he does hit certain shots, he opens up and he just kind of like stays tight. And when he does a lat spread, it looks more like a most muscular. He doesn't have flexibility, but if he were able to hit the shots properly, he would most definitely be a threat. I mean, the like you said, the roundness that he's got is just stupid.
Yeah, well, if you're listening, Hassan, Kenny Wallach, the posing pro, hit him up. He's,
And get some massage. Get Derek Farnsworth out there to Vegas to work on him.
that's right. Fly him
Open him
out.
up. But yeah, I see it. This is exciting. I see Nick Walker. I'm pumped for him, and we'll finally get to see Blessing. You know, for Blessing, he had an unbelievable amateur career, and from what I understand, he turned pro a few times.
And that was all in 2017. He has not seen a stage since 2017.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, you know, he needed to put on some muscle anyway, but and then last year the shows got canceled.
Right.
So it's exciting in general because the guy's an entertainer. He's got a huge following, and I'm interested to see that. And from what I see, Justin Rodriguez was like 295 or something the other day and looking good.
Yeah.
That guy don't stop growing.
Yeah. I mean,
it's crazy.
He came so close to it was Ian and him at the New York Pro. And there was, what was it, the Tampa Pro? Was it Hunter and him? I can't remember. There was one other show. All these shows sort of blend together in my mind. But he was so close at 2 shows last year to winning. Like, I bet they were a point apart. And I don't even know if he's had a pro win yet. I think he's been second and third so many times now.
Yeah, he'll get it. He'll get one.
Absolutely.
Sure. Come here.
It's too big to pick up and put in your lap.
I know. I would too.
So the last big news item before we get to a couple of the questions was Derek Lunsford. He's with Hani Rambod now. He's signed with Evage Nutrition. Hani's going to be coaching him. You know, I think peaking has been his issue the past couple of years. That last week, because I see him in his videos and his pictures a week or two out and very impressed, and then get to the show and it's either flattened out or it's a little film. Something goes wrong at like probably the last 24, 48 hours. What do you think Hani could be the guy to solve that puzzle for this kid and get him the title?
Absolutely. Without question. And I discussed this on my podcast the other day. You know, JB, his coach, you know, you got to give him some credit because he did take him under his wing at a young age. And, you know, the kid had what is arguably the greatest, you know, win at the USA to winning Tampa to placing top 5 at the Olympia, all within 30 days.
Yeah, it was nuts.
You know, and it's not like he looked like shit. It just isn't what we expected of him, you know?
Right.
So hats off to JB. And but I mean, when it comes to peaking guys, you know, champions, guys that are at the cusp and bringing him to that next level, Hani's definitely the guy, you know, or one of the guys.
Right.
You know, his track record speaks for itself. So I think for sure, Derek can win. Yeah. I thought he could win last year. I thought he could win the last few years, you know, but he just needs to be 100%. And I think Hani will definitely just has that little extra knowledge, experience, and eye. He's not going to let him do dumb shit like eat a pizza the day before. You know, he'll just have a better eye on him. And I expect great things from Derek. Yeah. And, you know, the other thing with Derek is like, how long can he stay 212? I think he'll do one more 212, possibly win it, and then he'll go up.
Do you think if he wins, he would stay in? He would move on to open. He wouldn't stay in 212 and want to keep winning like Flex Lewis did.
No, I don't think he can. I don't think he can continue to train and improve year after year while staying at 212.
Yeah.
You know, maybe 1 or 2, but anything more than that, he's just going to stifle his physique.
Right.
And, you know, he has a little bit more structure than Flex Lewis. Like he's a little wider.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it'll be harder for him to maintain this trajectory he's on and stay 212.
Yeah, because we just did an interview. He's hovering. He fluctuates. He wakes up at 250. Usually goes to bed around 255. So
that's crazy.
It's a lot to come down from. It's a long way to come down to 212.
Yeah, and I don't even think Flex ever let himself get that heavy.
You know, I mean, Derek, his face doesn't look chipmunky. I mean, I don't know how lean he is, but he certainly doesn't look fat. I bet he could be on stage somewhere around 225, 230 in the same condition. That's just my guess, but who knows? But we'll see. All right, question time. We asked you guys for questions. Here we go. Number one from Tony Malzone. This is a weird one, but I'll throw it out there for you. Thoughts on 80s female bodybuilding? Corey, Anya, Tanya, etc. You were just a kid back then. What do you remember about those days?
I loved them. I thought they, in looking back, I loved them even more because the majority of them were able to keep that beautiful feminine look, and they weren't too big. They had beautiful shape, great condition. It was still real sexy, and that was that was fun to look at. At a point, some of them got a little bit out of control. I loved Corey Everson. I loved Linda Murray because they were able to keep that beautiful face and beautiful overall look. Not to say that the women of today aren't. Some of them really are and are able to keep a good look, but I think due to the judging standards and what they are forced to, the extremes they're forced to go to,
right?
Just because that's what's winning.
Right.
I don't think it's any one particular person's fault, but that is the evolution of the sport, of the division, has gone to just extreme where they don't look like those women anymore.
Yeah. If you look at all the divisions we have now, I'd say if you go back to like the 80s women's bodybuilding, we have a lot of women in pro figure now that have about as much muscle mass as they do. And the women's bodybuilding is, you could fit like two Anyas or Corey's or Tanya's into one of the top 5 from the last Miss Olympia easily. But whose fault is it? You could argue all day. It's the judge's fault for rewarding them. It's the athlete's fault. I'll keep talking.
Well, I gotta get this dog out of here.
Yeah, I know.
Put on the deck.
Yes, guys, these are the realities of doing these shows. We have pets, and the pets.
Yeah.
Sometimes in a lot of my videos, you can hear, if you listen, you can hear a Shih Tzu barking downstairs. Well, all right. So
here we go. He barks out on the floor.
Who was your personal favorite out of the 80s female bodybuilders?
Corey,
Okay.
for sure.
Fair enough.
I would consider what Linda Murray was 90s, right?
Yeah,
Late 80s.
I believe she came into it right at the end of the 80s, but 90s was really her decade.
Yeah, definitely. Corey was the, and then she did, what was that movie she did with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Double Impact? Was that the one?
Yes. And she was smoking with those black tights she had on. Oh my God.
Yeah. Little known fact. You know the movie Natural Born Killers?
No. Yeah, I've heard of it. I never seen
Woody Harrelson. You never saw that?
No.
Oh my God, it's a classic. It's horrific. It's like an acid trip with a bunch of murder and stuff. But anyway, so there was like a reenactment. They showed like a TV reenactment on some news show in the movie of Mickey Mallory, the Killers, and Corey played Mallory in the reenactment. It was hilarious.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, I didn't know that.
You'd have to really look, but for those of us who know her, you'd be like, there's Corey. All right, that's it. Number 2 question, Mr. Jinx. Hey, Jose, whatever happened with the gym? Are you still planning on opening a gym someday? Do you still want to be in the gym business?
I would love to. Unfortunately, the character that I was going into business with was a complete scumbag, and he got caught trying to embezzle. It was just terrible, and so that was shut down. This guy came to me. I wasn't, going looking to do it. I would love to, but clearly I didn't have the money. Couldn't pull it out of my ass. So this guy came to me and he was like, you be the face of the place, and you can bring all your ideas, pick out all the equipment, and I'll be the silent money guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So we looked at like 10 buildings. We got a building. We agreed upon the terms, signed a lease, and the landlord says, all right, we need a $50,000 down payment. And I'm like, all right, cool. The guy comes to me, all right, can you give me 50 grand? I'm like, what? I'm like, you're the money guy.
Oh.
Like it was a nightmare out of the gate, like complete scumbag. He ended up stealing some money.
Wow.
And, you know, there's still some members that pre-signed up. I'm like, we weren't even close to opening.
Wow.
And he opened an account unbeknownst to me. And there was, you know, not many, but like 25 people got the pre-membership.
Right.
And he just ran off with it. Complete scumbag. He should be in jail.
Wow. So do you still have the franchise for Metroflex for New England?
No. And that's the funny thing. He said we did. He said we had, I bought the franchise for New England, New York, and New Jersey.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, that's awesome. You know, he doesn't know that I know everyone. So Brian calls me, hey, I'm so excited you're going to be doing this, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, sounds good. And he says, what's going on with your guy? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, he never paid me.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? I'm like, from what I knew, he said he paid it all up front. He's like, no, man. So I said, do what you got to do. You know, that has nothing to do with me. And Brian knew that because he didn't deal with me.
Right.
It was just all a fraud. I'm like busting at the seams thinking about it. Like,
wow. Yeah.
It's taken me a year and a half to like come to terms with it, you know, because we started this, you know, this whole process started in 2019.
Yeah.
And I mean, there were a lot of people that knew, and so that was my reputation that this guy was stealing from, you know?
Right.
And,
yeah. You guys were giving out shirts at the 2020 Cutler in New England. Yeah. Marquini made up a bunch of shirts.
Yeah.
Still have mine in there. Maybe I'll wear it someday.
Which I paid for. Like, this guy was a professional. He will end up in jail.
Oh, is he still in the area, or is he like
Yeah, he's around.
Okay.
I don't communicate with him.
All right. Yeah, I apologize. I probably should have warned you about that question. I threw that out of left field, but it was in the comments. So.
No, I saw it. I see it quite often. You know, and I just avoid addressing it because it's not something exciting to talk about. You know, it's my dream to open a gym in my own place, and this guy took advantage of that and screwed me every way you could imagine. And you know, I'm glad I have a platform to explain what happened to the people that are wondering, because I was excited about it, and to the few people that got screwed, you know, when I do have the opportunity, I will take care of them in every way possible.
Lifetime membership.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that would do it for me. All right, final question from the viewers. It's a training question. Some guy in the last video, and sir, I can't remember your name, but he said, "This is crap. Why didn't you guys talk about training?" I said, "We needed questions. Didn't have any. Now we have questions, so we're all good." Hi, Jose. Before competing enhanced, were you training muscle groups once a week? And how long were you resting between practice sets, work sets, and between muscle groups during a mass building workout?
I mean, that's great. People want training questions because it gets boring listening to gossip over and over again. But yeah, I always train the same, and I never trained anything really twice a week. At the most, I'd train something twice within 10 days.
Okay.
So I'd be on a schedule where things would just work out that way. I train legs twice a week because I'd hit hamstrings and then quads on a different day.
Yeah.
But I always moved pretty quick. As I got going through my career, you know, higher and higher, I moved faster and faster. My cardio is pretty much insane when it comes to doing legs and stuff. Nobody stays with me. You know, I train with Nate once a week doing legs, and every time he almost throws up.
Really?
It's just a tempo. It's a pace that we move at. And if it's not quick enough, I'll add another exercise. Like last week, we supersetted Smith machine squats and leg presses, or hack squats and leg presses. I like supersetting those movements because I can no longer pack on 600 pounds and squat. So I need to get that same feeling in my muscles without killing my joints. So it's been But I've always trained that way, high volume, moving quickly, and lots of cardio.
Yeah.
I sweat and breathe. I'm out of breath when I'm training legs like crazy, especially upper body, like with arms and stuff. I rest very little because it's not much recovery time needed.
So, all those, I'm sure it wasn't often, but like a lot of times I meet up with you and there'd be at least one other person with us training. Sometimes there would be as many as like 5 people training. And did that drive you nuts to have to wait for all these people to do their damn sets before you could do your set?
I hate it. I wouldn't do it. That wasn't me. That was Matt. Matt would bring a parade of people with him. I don't like that. So if there was ever more than 3 people, I would break off and do my own thing. I couldn't do that. I mean, that's just, I socialize when I'm training. It's, I always said training with a buddy is like, going golfing. It's our version of going golfing.
Right.
But no, I can't train with that many people. I need it to be intense, and I need it to be a real workout. If I'm only doing a set every 12 minutes, I can't do that. It's crazy.
You lose your pump. You got to. It feels like you need to warm up again just for safety reasons.
Yeah.
It helps people. I'm going to throw Matt. I'm throwing you under the bus right now. I think it benefits people more who are all about heavy lifting, and they need that time to recover. But for people who are more pure bodybuilders who want to keep the blood in the muscle and keep that feeling, you got to move. You can't. So many of those workouts, I'd meet you and then I'd see Matt and like, okay, there's 3, and then like 3 other people walk in like, mother effer, and I'd be like, I'm taking my ball and going home, and I would like. And I'd look like the antisocial asshole because I'd like flake off in a corner and do my own thing because I can't wait that long. It's like it drove me nuts to wait that long to do a set.
Yeah. No, I won't do it. I refuse. Anytime that happened, I'd break off.
Yeah.
I would always break off and do my own thing.
All right, fair enough. So guys, training questions, they're now open season. You got to leave them here in the comments. Make sure you check out Jose's channel. It is called The Boston Mass. He's been doing it with his buddy Nate for a while now. They have podcasts. They go to different gyms all over the place. Show you the best gyms in the northeast part of this United States. Very cool stuff. I missed them when they came to my gym. Damn it. IG is called The Boston Mass. It's 2 E's like Megan V Stallion. The Boston Mass on Instagram. And I believe your website up again to get some merch. thebostonmass.com. Yeah?
Yes, indeed.
I got the OG stuff. I don't know if you may even make these ones anymore.
I don't know if I have that left.
That's okay. This was like 10 years ago, probably. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going back.
Crazy.
Yeah, I got shirts that are older than some of the people that watch these videos. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, Jose, thank you so much. Always cool. Sorry about the dogs. But,
well, next time there won't be a dog. So bring all the training questions, nutrition questions. I have some pretty simple answers. I try to simplify everything.
Yeah.
Particularly with nutrition. I'm not going to try to break things down to the micro atom, the way some people do.
Yes.
Sometimes the simpler, the better.
Oh, I think the people that make it seem complicated, they want you to think it's that complicated. So you have to hire them to try to translate it for you.
Right.
My pet theory. Yeah. Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. Anyway.
Exactly.
All right. Everybody, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little alarm, that bell thing, so you know when new videos are coming out. Make sure you check out all of Jose's social media and sites and all that good stuff. And we appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time with another edition of No Way, Jose.